Welcome to Kachina Chatter. Oh, wait, that's not the name of this.
Wrong show.
I'm going to get you a t-shirt. I had one on yesterday.
I'll rock it. Get it.
I do. I think I still may have one.
Give it to me.
I don't have black. I know that's usually your wardrobe color.
True.
I believe I have gray men's t-shirts that say Kachina Chatter, and then it either has my name on it or the website on it.
So I was going to say what I think it's called, but we're in a professional environment today,
let's
so
not
I'll keep
do
it
that.
down.
So
right? I don't want to make anybody blush.
Thank you. This is Marketing RV.
All right, there you go.
And we're on location, and normally we come to you from a restaurant. Well, Gene and I were a little up in the air about which restaurant to go to, and so we threw it out on LinkedIn, and my buddy Jim Pace got a hold of me right away, who works at BHCU, and he said, come down to our offices. Well, BHCU is a credit union, a financial institution.
This is definitely different than what we've been used to.
It is, but it's cool. But
not a bad thing.
I'm a little disappointed just between, they can't hear me, can they? Oh,
no,
yeah,
they're not
can.
looking. Go ahead. Go ahead. They can't hear you.
Well, so Jim says, I know you're usually used to doing restaurants. Do I need to provide food? And I said, no, but, because you're not a restaurant, what you do provide is cash. If you throw some of that out on the table, we'll be fine with it.
And they said, yeah, I'll get the food.
So they got food instead, which Gene is thrilled about because
of course.
Gene owns a sandwich board that says we'll work for food.
True story. And beer and wine.
Beer.
Although not after this weekend. I'm a little over the wine from this weekend.
Gene had a big party.
Big party. Yeah.
Unbelievable. You would think. Imagine what's going to be like when your daughters get married.
I'm gonna hold up a different kind of sign that says we'll work to help you pay for this damn wedding.
If more than 200 invites go out for an 8th grade graduation, I just can't imagine what a wedding's going to be
My
like.
father-in-law listen to this. Maybe you got to come down to BHCU and get a line of credit. Will you hook my father-in-law up with a line of credit? If he's got good credit, maybe he can help me pay for these weddings coming up. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about the food that we've eaten, but let's introduce our guests
ahead,
at
do your
BHCU. So we have James Pace, who is the Business Development Officer, and Jerry Dorn, who is the Commercial Credit Officer. So whichever would like to speak first, tell me what you do.
Lorraine,
Speak into that microphone.
I'm the Business Development Officer here at BHCU, and I go and introduce business professionals to our credit union.
So Jim and I met a few years back when he was trying to decide a school for his daughter, and I happened to be on the board at Cardinal O'Hara, and she was taking a trip through. She didn't end up going through, so I didn't do something right.
I don't blame her. Well, I'm a West Catholic guy, so I'm not talking any Prendy, no O'Hara.
Really?
Yeah, that's
whatever.
Listen, Delco.
So Jim and I stayed in touch because that's what networking's all about. We're on LinkedIn. He saw my post, got in touch with me. And it's interesting, Jim, you've been all your life in business development of some sorts. I know you did recruiting, but that's business development too, is it not, in a sense?
It's definitely, you do both sides. It's constantly getting out there and meeting people and finding opportunities for those people. So you're developing business on both ends. Mm-hmm. Usually when you have someone that is you're recruiting, that person becomes a hiring manager someday, and obviously that's how you develop business.
Right. How long have you been here?
Just under a year.
Under a year. And your job is to connect with businesses and bring them into BHCU, which is, I've learned recently, a community chartered credit union.
Yes, we are community chartered. Our membership requires you to either work, live, worship, or go to school in Delaware County, mm-hmm. or be related to someone who does. And the neat part is, it's a chance to kind of be in Delaware County where I grew up, and I've been, 50 plus years, mm-hmm. and help my neighbors get financially secure.
All right, there's the sales pitch. Now you have it. No, I'm kidding. Can we talk about the elephant in the room? And I'm not talking about Gene. He hasn't even eaten yet.
Wow. I am gaining a little bit of weight, but that's
You're
ridiculous.
Not. You look good.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Gene's a little low-key today. You really are. Like, this is like the after the party kind of letdown.
We don't usually do this on Monday either.
That's true. We never did.
Mondays.
We've not done a Monday yet.
I don't like Mondays. I don't like midnight. There's a lot of things I don't like.
Oh, okay. I'm learning. Yeah. All right, no midnight podcast.
Don't worry, I'm not going to say. Listen, I'm just formulating in my mind some of these questions because I run off the rails a lot. And again, going back to the professional setting, I'm trying not to go off the rails. So sometimes
You're trying to behave.
I am.
Language is good and everything so far. I'm really impressed.
I'm not going to curse.
Okay, good.
Maybe.
What I want to know, the elephant to which I was speaking, the BHCU. What does the name stand for?
It stands for BHCU.
Okay, so right now, but can I tell everybody what it used to stand for? And how long ago did you change that?
Well, about 5 years ago, we became a community charter,
Before that, you were a single seg
single seg, and we were actually founded years ago.
in the
almost-
50s, correct?
Almost 70 years ago as Vertal's credit union.
Oh,
And we were in-
because
we were in-
Boeing used to be Boeing Vertal.
Interesting.
And we were in Morton,
Mm-hmm.
and we were obviously helping out the employees of Vertal, and then it went into Boeing. And initially, we were actually right on the industrial highway.
Right.
In a trailer,
Right.
and it was like a payday kind of place, and and at one time we didn't even offer cash. You actually got a voucher, and you would go to another bank and get your cash.
Well, how
Oh, that's
things
funny.
came full circle because, so many financial institutions are cashless now, which
Yeah.
is crazy in my
Well,
mind.
hold on, I got to stop because for people like me and other folks that are not in the banking industry, what is single seg?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That means that hello, our listeners. I'm glad you mentioned that. See, I
Somebody's got to
happen-
care about the people you don't.
I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got caught up in the terminology. Do you want to explain, or do you want me?
You can.
So basically, credit unions were formed for employees of certain select employee groups, if you will. That's SEG. SEG is select employee group.
See, I thought it was short for like single segment or something.
Right. Well, it is in a sense a segment, right? A segment
Yeah,
of
I
the
guess it is,
population.
yeah.
So, when this credit union was formed, it was formed for the employees of Vertal. That I said it wrong. No, I said Vertal. Okay. So, and then it became Boeing Vertal. So it was Boeing Helicopter Credit Union, and now they dropped because they're community chartered. In other words, they can service anybody who lives, worships, works.
So in
the
other words,
community.
when it was Boeing helicopter, your 100% of your membership was had to work at Boeing. Is that how it worked?
Exactly.
Or be
and
a
then when you
relative
went-
of-
or be a direct relative.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, and then when you went community
Right.
charter,
Right.
then you can open it up to the people that fit the wider requirements, which is live in Delco. Or,
Exactly.
I got it. Okay. Okay. So and I don't. I'm
understood.
actually part of another credit union
Yeah.
near me. And can I ask you another question, a banking related question? Because this really chaps my ass. Is it true that seriously on this other one, every 6 transactions, like when I transfer money,
Yes, that's not just a credit union.
For
thing.
real?
That's
it's Reg D.
yeah.
So I'm always arguing with these people. I'm like, so is it only credit unions or is it all banks?
It's all banks.
It is.
FDIC or NCUA, like we're insured. It's that's a federal rule.
Yeah, and that all came out of 9/11, correct?
Yes.
No, one's saying yes, one's saying no. No.
Now, Reg D is Reg D is to govern savings accounts, money markets, things of that nature. And the idea behind it was savings accounts are supposed to save. So
Okay.
if you're constantly withdrawing money, you have like 15 transactions. How are you possibly saving? You're not. So they put restrictions on it.
Really?
It's a savings account. It's
Okay,
a money market.
I'm calling BS, not on you, Jerry, but just on the whole Reg D thing. That is just to monitor what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's Big Brother.
Okay. I mean, they can still
George
monitor
Orwell,
regardless.
1984.
Exactly right. Yeah,
was it?
hello.
What was 84?
Yeah, we're living it.
Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally.
Dystopian.
I know. We talked about this on something else. You're right. It's scary, actually. It is. We can get into that later. Right?
So what Gene was asking for our listeners is that after 6 transactions on your debit card, you start to get charged. Oh, no, not
like,
debit.
No, transfers in between accounts.
Right.
Online transfers in between
Online,
accounts.
but if you go
Yes.
into the branch, you're okay.
And I
you're
think
okay
you
to
can
do that.
call. You do it on the phone.
It depends on the type of account. If that's a checking account, there's no restrictions.
It's the savings accounts where there's
It's
a
the savings
restriction.
in the money market.
That's
side.
what it is. No, and so what we have is like I have a savings, a checking, and then like a line. And when I move money back and forth from the checking to the savings or vice versa, that's when I get hit with it.
Yeah, so what
It's-
happens is you get a letter.
Yeah.
You get a letter in the mail that says, you've exceeded 6 transactions, you do it again, your interest is going to be turned off. You'll just have a non-interest bearing account.
Oh, is that right?
That's what they do.
Well, and
No kidding.
some charge you a hefty fee, no?
and they charge you too.
Yeah. So what I think, what I was told is that this was to monitor for money laundering.
There's definitely that part of it as well. Sure. Anti-money laundering.
Laundering.
Yeah,
I said
laundering.
it wrong.
So that's-
You said laundering, but
Whatever
you
the
knew
hell
what
I
you
said.
meant. Yeah.
So that was a connection to 9/11. Exactly.
Exactly. So I just feel like they use that to get it. They want to monitor
But it's
everything.
been in place well before that.
So tell me, there also it used to be a threshold of I think $9,999 you could withdraw before the red flags went up, and now it's lower. Is that correct?
No.
It's still 9.
Still 10 grand.
10,000. Anything over $10,000. So what happens is folks try to come in, they try to game the system a little bit, so they they'll come in and they'll do 9,800.
Yeah.
Thinking, and then they'll go next day they'll do 9,600. Well, that's a structured transaction or a suspicious transaction, so we're required to report that because that could end up being someone's creative way to get around the reporting.
So, and that's the
Right.
same
I think
type of.
it's all about anti-money laundering. That's just to keep.
That is okay.
And that's also something like that happens. Is that what goes on at the casino? If you win over a certain amount of money, or that they're required to report it to the IRS at that point,
same
right?
reason.
Same reason, right? Yeah, some type of
I
deal.
wouldn't know anything about the casinos.
Yeah,
I
don't believe
I
that.
don't even believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, not even for a minute.
So do you have a list of like a laundry list? Because first of all, as we kind of break real quick, we probably should talk about the food.
Yeah, let's
We haven't
talk
done
about
that yet, right?
what and Jim, feel free to jump in here. So one of Jim's business members owns On a Roll in media. Tell us-
Antonio DeRosa, a real good guy. He's been in media for about 25 years.
Irish?
Really Irish.
Yeah, with a name like
Antonio
that,
DeRosa
sure.
sounds Irish.
Yeah,
Yep.
he came from County Cork. He's obviously very Italian. He came to media when media was still a one-horse town and was one of the original restaurateurs. He's got a great place on Orange Street, and he's actually improving it now. So his second floor has Sopra, which is a exclusive eating establishment on the top, where he has private lunches and more intimate meetings.
Is it just like a banquet hall, or can you go to
No.
Sopra for dinner? You can go
can
there.
go there- you
and
go
so
for
it's
dinner.
it's more of a dinner restaurant where
Dinner
On a
and-
Roll
and
is a sandwich
and a
shop.
business type of lunch.
Okay.
And a business type of lunch.
Okay. And On a Roll, so what we had was from On a Roll. We had a chicken wrap that was really good. I'm not sure if I could find it on here quickly enough. That mushroom sandwich the portobello sandwich. Did you guys like that?
Yes.
That was delicious.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad somebody ate it. I just can't do mushrooms.
Now, neither of us can, and we appreciate it, Mr. DeRosa, but unfortunately, Gene and I didn't. But Jerry and Jim scarfed it down, so that's pretty good. I ate
It's
the
not
wrap.
here
It was
anymore, I can
awesome.
tell you that.
Yeah, it disappeared.
It's gone.
We had a Caesar salad. It looks like we have a tuna hoagie, and the other one is a what was that? It was
That
some
was
kind
a
of chicken.
Dijonnaise.
Oh, the Dijonnaise. That's
Chicken
right.
Dijonnaise.
That looks really good too. I bet you Gene's going to tear into that. What is that? Have spinach in it?
Yes.
And the rolls are good. The bread's good. So looks like they have a lot of hot and cold sandwich. Perfect place for lunch.
So you're looking at that menu. I'm looking at the Sopra menu.
You're
now.
looking at the
Is this
Italian
BYOB
eatery.
or?
Yes, it's a BYO.
I love BYOs. So I'm looking at, obviously, Caesar salad is what I would do first. And I don't know this place, if I'm being honest. I think I've seen On a Roll by passing it. Never stopped in. And that's going to change this week.
Yeah, same. I'm definitely going to stop by
Right?
here. I'm always looking for new places.
I
in
wanna go to this
media. I always
place. We
go to
should
the
meet
same
here
places.
one night.
Let's do it.
And go and get some BYO. And maybe I'll order some. What's he got on here? Some veal? Does he have any? Yeah.
So they are at 11 South Orange Street in Media. OnARollMedia.com. Very easy to find. Very
Yep.
cool.
And then-
Okay, so On a Roll, the sandwich shop is open 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's cool. So you go there for lunch and you go upstairs for dinner. We can make a whole day of it.
Yes, we can. I hope he's listening. We're coming by.
Look out. We're going to eat. And Gene and I bring our appetites, that's for sure.
Yeah, and
So-
thank you guys for bringing this stuff in for us. It's greatly
so
appreciated.
Interesting. So, Jim, you're kind of like you go out and you find the business partners, and then Jerry, you loan the money.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
One sets them up, the other knocks them down.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Right?
volleyball tag team.
I
over
like
here.
it.
Yeah.
I like it. So what do we? So give me an example from a business lending perspective. Like tell me who you go after. Who's your perfect client right now?
Well, our perfect client would be a small business owner who is in Delaware County who wants to get away from a big bank and wants to get away from the fees, and we're able to kind of come in, give them exceptional service, great rates, no fee loans, or no prepayment penalty loans rather, and which a lot of the banks do. We also have a lot of convenient online services for them, merchant accounts, those sort of things. But we also want to deal with them on a personal level as well, because we can do first mortgages, we can do second mortgages, we can do car loans.
But that's all the things that banks can do as well. Being devil's advocate here. What's the
True.
advantage of a credit union?
Well, the credit union.
I know the answer.
You set that one up.
Well, a credit union is, I think, a little bit more customer focused. We're looking to actually be part of the business plan with the business owner. We're going to listen to the story. We are in the community. We want to invest in the community. We're going to see these folks at churches, at schools, at different events, and we want to be a part of that. We want to help grow Delaware County. So the better job we do with the business owner to kind of let them kind of expand and grow their business, the better Delaware County is going to be.
So, Jerry, you want to step in? Go ahead.
Yeah,
right on that mic.
So being a commercial credit officer, we look at things a lot differently, and I've been in credit and business development for a number of years, banking for 21 altogether. So I've seen and done a lot of different things. But the big banks, you either fit into the box or you don't. You know what? And that's okay because they have so much volume. That's the only way they could possibly do it.
Makes sense.
Because they have to have a streamlined process or nothing would ever get done.
Well, how about community banks?
So community banks are more akin to a credit union because they're a little bit more flexible, but I still find community banks have more fees.
Well, because banks are owned by shareholders, stakeholders.
Yeah.
Where credit union is owned by its members.
Okay.
So the money that's profited goes back into the membership, correct?
A lot of people don't realize that, banks are for profit. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Credit
but they
unions
don't
are not
realize
for
that credit unions are, yes, they're owned by the members, but we're non-profit. In fact, this credit union, we actually give back money. So if you have a loan with us and you're paying interest to that loan, or you have a savings account or a money market or a checking with interest and you're getting interest on that, we pay you interest on your interest in the form of a give back at the end of the year, a certain percentage of that. And also, you paid interest on a loan. We're giving you money back on that interest, almost like a cash back.
Nice.
And I think to date we've done, what is it?
$1.6 million last year.
Yeah, 1.6 million is the total. We've done it
Of
for a
give
couple
back?
years.
That's
Wow.
cool.
So
That's
how
direct
many banks do you know
profit, yeah.
that if you would pay interest on a loan, or you already getting interest, get more interest on what you're getting?
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
And the other thing, too, with a lot of these small banks, Lorraine, they have lending limits. So, they can only do certain things and certain structures. Because of the cooperative nature of a credit union, we're able to kind of work with other credit unions and partner with them, which you would never hear with another
a bank, yeah.
A TD bank's not going to work with a PNC bank.
Right.
Where we're going to work together for the betterment of our members to make sure they get, the best rates, the best products.
Because it's about building that strong community. So let me ask
Exactly.
you another question. It's BHCU. We get that. It's not exclusively for Boeing helicopter any longer. The bigger credit union with Boeing's name on it is Boeing Employees. They're at like over 20 billion in asset size, right? What are you guys, about 200 million? Almost?
We'd like to be.
Okay. Well, you
After this podcast, we will.
Yes,
you got to
correct.
be over 150 million, right?
About 150.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I did my research before
Very
I got
good,
on here. Yeah,
very
but
good.
I couldn't pull up anything really current. I got 2017's numbers. And so back to Boeing Employees, is there any, I have a lot of questions about that. Is there any confusion locally about which credit union people are joining when they join? Is there any other kind of conflict because of the name?
Well, there might have been at one time. Actually, Boeing Employees is one of the largest credit unions in the country.
Yeah, behind
It's a
Navy Federal, right?
Yeah, it's a well-run credit union, obviously located out in Washington State. One of the changing to BHCU should eliminate some of those challenges locally, because while we appreciate our relationship with Boeing, it's not who we are anymore.
Understood.
We're actually, Delaware County's credit union.
Right.
And that's what we really brand ourselves as being, part of the only credit union exclusively located in Delaware County and exclusively for the membership of folks who live in Delaware County.
So you wouldn't open up memberships for anybody in Delaware or Chester County unless they happen to work here in Delaware County or go to school or
Once
worship.
a member, always a member. So there was a lady that I just met. She was moving, I think, to Alabama.
Sure.
But she's lived in Delaware County all her life. If she opened up an account with us or a share with us, and she then moved 2 weeks later, she could still be a member.
Absolutely, because you can do everything online. And then you have the cooperation with other credit unions where you could, right? What is that called?
The shared
the
co-op
shared,
network.
yeah, exactly.
So you can go in and you can make deposits, and it depends on the branch. Sometimes
Right.
they're just ATMs, sometimes it's deposits and withdrawals.
And no fees because it's a kind of a credit union cooperation thing.
That's cool.
We have 35,000 We have 35,000 ATMs that are have no fees for.
Oh, that's nice.
So, if you don't mind, a little FI speak, that would be financial institution.
Very good. Tell the people.
I just want to, when we talked about the big banks, are Navy Federal and Boeing employees, are they they're so darn big now. Do they operate like the big banks?
They do, and you're starting to see that with some other larger credit unions just locally as well.
Wow.
They're starting to come out with fees. They're starting to come out with minimums. They're
Well, why is that if they're not profit?
I think at some point the operating expense gets to the point where they have to somehow offset it with fees.
Also, I think they have a lot more layers and structure.
Yeah.
Where here at BHCU, you can actually come in and talk to the lender. You can talk to the business developer. You can talk to our CEO. He's very approachable.
He was
Well,
just
smaller,
here.
the more manageable it is. Yeah, we met Gary.
Yep,
So
he was in here.
And we have a responsibility to our members. Whereas
that you haven't forgotten about.
Right. Some of these bigger places, you're not going to get to meet these folks.
Well, you become a number.
Right. Well, my career started out at a bank. The very first day I got off the train to work in Center City, I looked at the Philadelphia Inquirer and it said, Fidelity Bank acquires IVB, and it never changed. We had mergers every other week, it seemed.
Wow.
So I survived about 7 different mergers with that
Wow.
financial institution, which is now Wells Fargo.
Wow.
I left banking initially because I got tired of trying to, I was in the small business sector and I was chasing people out of the banks because these large banks didn't want those small business.
Wow.
So, it's funny. My dad was a small business owner. His dad was a small business owner in Delaware County. Our family goes almost 100 years back, and yet I was chasing these types of folks who were the backbone of this region out of the financial institution because they didn't fit the box that Jerry was talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I want to throw in a little bit of history. So before it was Wells Fargo, it used to be the First Union Center.
Right.
We used to call it the FU Center.
Right.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. That was my favorite part of the history.
And wait, what was it before that?
Oh God, so, it started at Core States, didn't it? Wasn't Core
I
States
can't
first?
remember.
It was the core states first.
There
Core
were
States
so many
Center.
names.
Yeah, and then I think that was not really though. I think
It was the
just a
it was
couple.
the Spectrum.
Well,
it
but
was the Spectrum
Wachovia,
first.
of course. Well, no, it wasn't the Spectrum. Spectrum was gone, right?
Spectrum, yeah.
No, they had them both at the same time.
Yeah, yeah,
And they changed
yeah.
the name.
They yeah. I don't know. I forget. It's been a long time. I'm getting old, man.
Wachovia, we called it the Wacko Center.
Wait, yeah, right. So wait, I want to ask another banking question for these guys. I think at some point, it's getting late. We probably
Okay.
should talk marketing at a certain
Well,
point, right?
that is a question I had, but ask your other banking
Well, this may be completely irrelevant to you guys, but first of all, there's 2 questions. This one's an easy answer. Do you loan locally on commercial real estate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest misnomer about credit unions. Credit unions don't do commercial loans, and we didn't do commercial loans until 2015. So there's still not a lot that do. And so when you hear commercial real estate, you think, oh, they can't do. They can do a car loan. They can do other things.
Right.
They can do a home equity loan. But we absolutely do commercial real estate. We do residential investment real estate. And we also do. You want to buy a truck? You want to buy a piece of equipment for your business, a manufacturing business, or you would need some more inventory? We do that too.
Awesome.
Lines of credit. So we're full service when it comes to the commercial and small business space.
Look, because I'm running a circle where there's a lot of real estate investors, and there's could be a question. I'm glad we cleared that up because they may call you for that. Yeah, sure.
He's big in the real estate.
Yeah.
Genre.
The other question I had for you too was I'm curious to think from a banker's perspective, and I if I mistermed you guys as bankers, I apologize for that. Employees that work at a bank. What are your thoughts on this? On the way? Well, first of all, we don't even get into this, but cryptocurrency and the way that money is now changing, and the implementation of Venmo and PayPal, and how easy it is just to move money. Like, here's the thing: 99.9% of the time, I don't need to walk into a brick and mortar, right? I don't have to go to a bank for anything for the most part.
Right.
So with Venmo, it's like it seems to be the buzzword. Like, just Venmo the money. Now I know they're not bank accounts, so they have to really be attached to a BHCU account in order to run them. But what are your thoughts on the new technology of moving money around in banking? And does it help you? Does it hurt you? What are you thinking?
I think it helps us. We're a small institution. We only have a few different locations, so having the ability to transfer money in those ways really helps our members. So anything that's going to benefit our member, and we're going to have to change with technology. Now, the real challenge, and with these fintechs, is that security risks,
right,
and those sort of things, and that's always been a concern. And that's something that we're taking very seriously here, is making sure that your money's secure. And with some of these other organizations, they're not regulated like we're regulated, so they can do a lot of different things, and people are comfortable because they think it's regulated like a bank, but it's truly not a bank or a credit union. It's another type of.
So you bring up an interesting point that I had never really thought about. So if I have money in a Venmo account, let's say
PayPal or whatever,
or even PayPal. Well,
which PayPal owns Venmo. You know that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But if there's cash in there and I get robbed, are they FDIC insured? Do you even know? Like, in other words, if I had money in Venmo,
we'd have to look that one up.
Yeah, because
I don't think they are.
Interesting. That's really interesting, because I keep cash balances in those things.
And why would you want to tell people where you just spent money or who you gave the money to? I never really understood that. I think there's certain things that are meant to be private.
Oh, you mean like in the Venmo stream when you see, like, I just gave Uncle Paul. It's weird.
That's why I don't do Venmo. I'll do PayPal. I don't do Venmo.
I like it for convenience. I mean, I coach teams of baseball and soccer, and it's great to get monies for things that we need for the team, but. Yeah, I don't need to see that. Aunt Judy just bought a toaster from cousin Sue for $400. Like, not $400, $40. Like,
yeah.
I don't need to see.
Well, and especially if you run in circles with guys like me, there's going to be comments in your feed about why I sent you money that you're probably not comfortable with. Like my brother-in-law
funny.
and my sister send money back and forth via Venmo, and it'll say like for lovin'.
Oh my God!
Like,
no, wait
leave
a minute.
that stuff off there.
I have a friend. Now I'm going to make everybody blush. I have a friend. She put this on Facebook once. She had to write her husband a check. God knows why. He had to go to the drive-through of the bank, wherever they go, to cash it. And in the
notes
section.
Yep.
All right.
You sure you want to do this?
She said, she wrote, "You have a large penis."
Oh my God, that went off the rails real quick. And that was you this time. I'm being
I
good.
thought that was so funny.
Oh
Could you
my
imagine
God.
the poor woman at the drive-thru?
Well, see, listen, that's my MO. If I'm doing stuff like that and I had to write you a check, it would say something that you were completely uncomfortable with.
I showed my husband the
That's
picture
hilarious.
on Facebook. He's like, "Okay, so there's another thing." I'm sorry, guys. I told they're like, "Don't talk, don't like."
They both
have
went
nothing
red.
to do.
They both
are
went
not
white. Their
responsible for
faces
this.
went white. Yep.
Oh my gosh! And you know what? She won't mind. We might as well. That's Natalie Stone, the actress. So she loves it. She's hysterical.
You just put her right on blast.
She will make anybody blush. Hysterical.
That's pretty good. I got to meet her. I should meet her.
You definitely
That
have
would
to.
be good.
We got to get her. She'll be on here in a heartbeat.
All right, let's get your mind out of the gutter and get back to the
No.
gentleman.
So we're talking about all these odd sources for these non. Financial institutions, if you will, Venmo, PayPal. What about Facebook? So many people trade money on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Well, now you can do it. Apple Pay, Google Pay. Like
I know,
can actually
but Mark
send.
Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and
I can
trust
send
him with your
no.
private info. I don't trust him with
Listen,
anything.
I send you. Well, I do trust him with my. That's Google talking to me. That's that. I said, okay, Google, and then my phone's just activated. No, I don't trust any of them with my money, but you're sort of forced to, right? Convenience. My thing is that privacy has gone out the window for convenience, and I because of what I do and how I live, I'm okay with the trade-off. A lot of people aren't, right?
And
So
you shouldn't be.
that is what it is.
Let's go. Let's bring this full circle.
Go ahead.
George Orwell, 1984. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
All right. So, which one of you wants to explain to us, please, the difference between business development and marketing?
Let Jim do that.
All right. And Jim, I know you kind of want to look at us, but don't. Just look at the microphone.
Okay. Well, marketing focuses on larger groups and the general public, where sales targets more individuals and smaller groups.
Okay.
So when you have a marketing, it's an overall approach, and you're trying to brand, and you're trying to, look at different, looking for prospects and looking to get leads, and it generates leads for the salesperson. Now the salesperson goes in and one-on-one has a two-way conversation, and actually, closes that.
So
that
are
lead.
you saying that business development is synonymous with sales? Or is there a slight difference there too?
I'm sure there is. I used it more as sales. But business development is a cousin of obviously marketing. Because
Okay.
part of my role, doing this event here today, I mean, that would be a marketing type of thing. Or So really, I'm supposed to be making people aware of our products and services, the advantages of using our credit union. So these are things that I do that is marketing, but a true marketing professional, they're looking to do analysis on the numbers, seeing what worked, what didn't work, and marketing is more directed by technology. So marketing's always going to change. Because you can do it. It used to be faxes you used to get that they used to market. Now you're on the internet. Now you get texts. All these different things that are actually marketing. Obviously the commercials. You're on a podcast. There's going to be something. So it's all things that are different. Where that's going to change, that way of marketing is always going to change. But sales is always going to be a one-on-one or a one-on
personal
group, and more of a personal, and it's going to be more of a give back. Sales should be about 30% talking and 70% listening.
Absolutely.
Where marketing, now it's starting to change because now with the way the internet is and people can get right back to you, and there's ways of having computerized.
A lot of marketers have to understand the value of building relationships.
The engagement is a big
right,
one.
but the key is the balance of both. I liken it to, there's a couple different ways of looking at it. You could look at, like we had the Tonys last night, so if you had a Broadway show, the actors are the sales folks. The marketing people are the production people, or are the people who build the sets, who are the directors and those sort of things. Neither of them could be successful without
the other. 100%. Yep.
And I also kind of liken it to, the Air Force and the Army. You need the marketing people are your air cover, and they're coming in, they make the ground soft by bombing you, and whatever. And then, the Army comes and takes over, and is much more personal. It's more hand to hand.
Yep.
So
where does the Navy come in?
The Navy sits out there, and
I'm teasing.
they bring us all there or something like that. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to work for a Navy credit union or whatever.
I'm staying way out of that. I don't need the armed forces knocking at my door for some reason. I love you all, every single one of you. So
No doubt.
Right.
You want to wrap this baby up and continue?
Thank you to all who have served.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, so let's
Absolutely.
wrap it up, but let's do this. Let's make sure these guys get an opportunity to tell us how to find them. So when you go in, so we have a special code. If they come in and tell these guys Gene sent you, they're going
Then
to
what
get
happens?
free hoagies.
Yeah, I don't
With
think
a
they can
account
make
opening?
that promise.
No? Okay.
Maybe a lollipop or something.
Yeah, there's
right?
some candy laying around.
T-shirt possibly.
T-shirt.
T-shirt,
There you go. I
possibly.
like it.
Yeah,
I like
cool.
it. Yeah.
I love the T-shirt because it has a big. Oh, we'll take a picture of this too, and we'll put it up there. Big, little Delco map on the back.
Delco.
Keep it Delco.
Delco. I was never Delco. I'm not going to be Delco. So give these guys a chance to tell the folks the best spot to reach you, or what, or, maybe a call to action, and then I want to also talk about On a Roll again real quick before we get out.
Well, we have two locations. We have the Ridley Park location, which is right here on Industrial Highway, 501 Industrial Highway, Ridley Park. That's the original location. And we have the Glen Mills location, which is right across from David's Dodge, next to Pescatore's, in that shopping center.
Oh yeah.
As well. And we're always looking for, expansion. And that's what we want to do. We want to expand. We want to continue to, because we want to be relevant. We want to be here. And we realize that we don't expand,
Can't.
we'll get bought up. We won't be there.
BHCU.org.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You can always catch us up on the web. And org is important because it is an organization as opposed to a because we are a nonprofit.
That's good points.
Very good.
Good
What
points.
about your cell phone, Jim? Give them that number as well.
Sure, my cell is 610-755-8650. So
I was checking. I thought he was giving out yours. He's looking at the card. I felt maybe he was going to give it back.
I wasn't that quick. And I don't memorize people's cell phones anymore because they're all on my phone.
You don't need
That's
to,
too
100%.
funny.
No, I just had a phone change, and I was literally a day without a phone, and I was like walking in circles. Yeah, I have no idea. Walking in circles.
So if somebody's doing some networking, Jim, we're liable to see you. What networking circles are you running in these days?
Well, typically I'll be at the Chamber of Commerce events. I'll be at the Chichester Businessmen's Association.
Nice.
I'll be at a number of different events throughout the county. So wherever there's people meeting, I'm going to try to get to in Delaware County.
And you're pretty active on LinkedIn too.
Very active on LinkedIn, and Ryan is our marketing manager. He's very active on so many different sites. So you're going to see us. You're going to see us even in the Daily Times.
love it.
There you go.
The old paper.
Shout
Still
out
works.
to Phil Hearn. All right. Well, Gene, where are we going to find us?
Well, before you get there, hit up onarollmedia.com, right? For these thanks again to these guys for the food. And then above that is Sopra, right? At On a Roll, it says. It's an Italian eatery, BYO. So get out there and let them know that you heard it on Marketing RV with the gentleman from BHCU. And maybe you'll get a free hoagie.
No.
Still no free
Stop
hoagies?
that.
Okay. All right. You can find us on iTunes, 5 stars, right?
Yep.
Remember, nothing less than 5 stars or I'm coming looking for you. Any of your favorite podcast spots, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Podcast, and iTunes. We want to get people out to iTunes, or you can visit us at
marketingrv.com.
That
Ciao.
was a good one.
I think so.
See ya.